Hey guys, Cody Matechuk here, and I'm going to take you through my process of putting on my LimeNine decals. We got a lot to do. Welcome to my house. We're in my living room right now. I like to get comfy. This is usually an evening job. Let's get started with the tools that I use. Some cleaner, paper towel, a knife, and a heat gun. That's all you need. I usually like to start with the fenders because they're easy. You get going on the fenders, you line it up nice and good, and it makes you feel confident. You start with the side panel, and you're going to be cursing yourself, I'm telling you. Start with the easy one. Build some confidence. Works every time. First thing, clean. Even if it's brand new. You never know what kind of residues or oils are on the outside of the stuff, so just give it a wipe. A lot of guys will put decals on wet. Honestly, I know it works. I've never tried it. I'm scared of spraying nice decals with wet stuff. I always just put it on dry. If you put it on wet and it works for you in the past, keep doing what works, you know what I mean? I'll take the whole thing off, and with the rear fender and the LimeNine, these little cutouts really make a nice line for you. So I'm going to place it right there. You're just going to press down enough so that you can stretch it out and see how it lines up. Sometimes you need to put your thumb there and then you line it up. And then hit it with the middle. Big stripe up the middle. You want to work from the middle outwards, and right here there's a hole on the Yamaha plastic. So we're going to make sure we don't seal around the hole just yet. And then you just kind of work it in from that way. There's another couple ridges in here. We're not going to seal it off completely. We're just going to get the shape sorted out. The heat guns work great for getting right into those tight concaved areas, but they can also screw you up. If you hit it too early, too hard, and stretch it, you will misshape the decals. I'm just heating up a little bit at a time. We're going to work this crease in first, starting at the back part here. And then I don't need to hit this part. I can do this almost all of the rest of it without heat. But for these tighter little sections, we use heat to help it bend into those corners. Get it all the way up to this point. Now I'm going to go into this section. So we're going to lift it up, heat it, watch your fingers. Press down into that hole. And then just finish it up like that. Now the last little bit that gets heat is just this last little crevice here. Remember, not too much. We don't want to stretch the decals. We just want to make it a little bit more pliable. Decals for my US followers. And then follow each flat section. So there's a ridge, flat, and then another ridge. We're going to follow that ridge. No need to use the heat gun. We'll get as flat as we can without using the heat gun. And then the heat gun at the end, just to seal this all up. Same thing on the other side. Once your decals are on, you're just going to hit the whole thing with heat. Not too much, just a little, get it nice and hot. And it'll help that glue bond. Make sure you really seal those edges in. And that part is done. There we go, building confidence. Slowly working our way up to the side number plates. Front number plate time. This is not a front number plate. Front fender time. So with the LimeNine, it actually really fits super well, edge to edge. You can use the seams of the plastic as your guides. That's one big difference from quality versus cheap graphics is the fit. So on this stripe, for example, I'm just gonna line it up with this corner somewhat, put it about there, and then you can just run it all the way down this seam. Bam. The rest of it's gonna fit in there. Easy as that. Same thing on the other side. Throw all of them on. Might as well do this one first. Side angle. The side angles I end up lining up from the back, just because the front kind of doesn't have a exact line. It just butts up against that decal. But if you throw it against this back edge with just a little spacing, and then line it up on this bottom edge. So you might have to flex the decal a bit. That's okay, because we're gonna flex it back later. And look at that. Butts right up. Creates nice lines. So just a little bit of spacing there, and then line up this bottom edge. And should be all happy. Alright, cut. So fenders first, then I go to the shrouds. Usually head up the fork guards, number plate, and then into those pesky side number plates. Remember to clean. Now with the LimeNine side number plates, they come in two different sections, top half and bottom half. It really doesn't matter which one you want to do first. By habit, I usually do the second one first, the bottom half first, if I can find it. Same thing, take her all off. Just be careful with it. You can touch it a little bit, but be careful. So we're going to line it up from the bottom and work our way upwards. This bottom line creates a good angle for us. I want to run it somewhere like that, and then you're going to line up that next hole as well. So this is just one stripe that I've pushed down on, so I could still peel it up. We're going to make sure this will go, which it will. It'll line up perfect. And then the back as well, which it lines up perfect. Wow, that went pretty good. Hit the flat spots first, then we work into these curves. Same thing here. So there's a little bit of a warp spot coming up. I'll just peel it up, let it resettle where it wants to sit. That way the decal stays as flat as it needs to, if you will. Now these crinkles that happen on the edge, if you just take your thumb and wipe it one way, you're gonna get in trouble. You wanna work them out this way, each one individually, and then you can go with a flat thumb. But otherwise it'll push and it'll twist the decal, and then you get those kinks that you just cannot get out. Give the top part a wipe, and then I'm going to throw this part on. So this one has this little tab here, and it's got a little tab on this part, and that's what I use to line up this decal. Just find that little, follow the line all the way. Now this, if I follow it straight, notice how it comes up there. So we peel it back a bit, push it right on where this kink is, and you want to follow it tip down like this. And then it'll come and wrap right around that bend perfectly. So it's just how you lay it down. And then it follows that line. A little bit of an angle change could be what's giving you all the trouble. Notice that I have not put heat on this part yet. You don't need it. There's a reason your decal doesn't fit, because it could be that angle. Don't just heat it up and stretch it into place. So this is why I got the X-Acto knife. Things like this, different cuts, or you place it just a little different. Sometimes the plastic is a little different. You just want to clean it up. I've actually had plastic panels come aftermarket ones that were like to here cut off. It was funny. Did not make any sense when I was first putting the decals on, but just a defect. Then we're gonna hit it with heat. On to the next. Side number plate time. This L right here by RP Race is what I'm going to use to line this all up. Slowly get it down. That part I don't care about. And we're just going to see how the line lines up when we drape it all. Downwards. Right to the point. So that's our positioning. Now it's all about how you spread it. So we can work on this front piece now. I'm just gonna stretch it a tiny bit to get around this hole. Nice and cleanly, it'll fit right into the front like that. Again, we'll hit it with heat later. Now the top side's usually the hardest, so I like to hit that first this time. You just slowly work up over this ridge. Push this in. Push the top down. Get all around this circle. And then work on buffing out this last bit. If it starts to crease at all, oh, air bubble, just don't push it anymore. You just hit it with the heat after. That crease should come out. Now we'll work this section. Same thing, it's kind of better to work it upwards than sideways. When you work it sideways, it will pull some of the decal over, and then you'll get air bubbles, or not air bubbles, but creases to have to work with. Sometimes peeling it up a few times as you lay it down. Don't give up. So now I'm getting it over the top edge here. And I know, looks a bit messy, but watch this. Don't swipe, push it straight down. There you have it, that's the hardest part. This bottom section comes together easily compared to that. It's just a bit of finessing, pushing downwards, not sliding sideways. So we're just gonna work this edge. There you go. That's how you put decals on. Nice, clean, no air bubbles, minimum creases, ready to rip. I'm not going to bore you with the little pieces and doing the second one. Same thing. You know the process. Comment if this helped. If you want to see more, like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.